Hello, divine, beautiful souls. This is Catriel with Energy Speaks podcast. We have 3 special guests here today. They have all been on as individual episodes at this point, and we're doing a little bit of a coven, I guess. So we have Dara Randall, we have River, and we also have Monique Robinson, correct?
Yes.
All right. And they are also starting a depression retreat center. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's this beautiful soul created the name Deep Resting. So it's a deep resting center.
Yes.
Ooh, I like.
Yeah. You just need some deep rest. You're not depressed. You just need deep rest.
Ooh, God, that's really good. It literally just clicked. I was like, whoa. Wow. Okay, so who wants to start first? Oh, I love the eyes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that it's an exciting journey that we're all doing together with it. We're all bringing something different to the table and trying to really navigate everything and bring it up. You know, there aren't that many. There are about 200 centers in, you know, specifically just on depression, and like globally, about 200 centers.
That's not very many.
Yeah, so we're trying to kind of, when you take it, it's not very many when you take it into response about how many people are depressed. So we're trying to kind of create a model that's more accessible and just more available in different locations. So when I say that there's about 200 like depression centers, like retreat kind of living in type centers.
Gotcha. Okay. Where's this location?
So we started off talking about 5 different locations. It's starting to kind of transition. We do know that we want to start one in Atlanta. We had a home in Maryland that we were looking at originally. So if anything, it's definitely going to be more than one location. So we're hoping to help people who have like basically an investment property with 5 or more homes to be able to, or 5 or more rooms to be able to turn that into a depression center themselves.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. I like that. So it's like very, in the center of the community in a sense.
The thought is like Airbnb, but for rehabilitation.
Oh my God, that's kind of genius.
Don't steal it.
It's taken a lot of work and understanding to get to this point. Like, if you're gonna steal it, like, come and tell me how you're doing it. Like,
that's amazing. I love that.
We call Dara Baby Genius. That's her name. She comes up with all these amazing models of genius
for reals.
Ways to change the world, and I love it. I'm excited to partner with her.
Yeah. So we have Metatron here.
Metatron?
Yeah, you're Metatron.
Oh, okay. Like the symbol?
Like Metatron being like the blueprint person.
Oh.
Hello.
Yes.
You're the mastermind.
Yes.
Okay.
You're the brain. Okay, well, there's more brains, but you get what I'm saying.
I mean, I think that, like, we all have so much to bring to it. Even yesterday, like, I brought Mo to the Movement Sanctuary because I was very inspired by the Movement Sanctuary, and I was going to try and start it off with the founder there. But he's very determined on his direction and very focused on where he wants to build. And I brought Mo there yesterday to kind of look at it, and she was like, yeah, I like the energy, but it's got to be like cleaner and more organized. And I was like, oh, I wouldn't have like necessarily thought about those things. So
3 minds are always better than one, right? We need three like minds are always better than one.
Not that the Movement Sanctuary isn't clean.
I was like, we need a little bougie. Dara's like, wait. Let me throw that out real quick. Just saying, Movement Sanctuary is a great place.
Oh my God.
Definitely clean.
So, within astrology, y'all know I'm an astrologer. So the trine energy is so powerful. So three beautiful beings. You know, in this configuration, magic happens. I mean, that really, you guys are like in this coven, right?
Oh, wow.
I mean, like that was, even though you were joking, it's totally truth.
And then it's like with the triangle, it's the both for like Judaism, it's both sides equal.
Yeah.
Yeah. As above, so below.
As below, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I would love to know more about what are the other aspects of this triangle. So
I guess that's totally focused on you now.
Ooh.
I realized with the eye contact.
I could totally introduce it too, because like she's got a lot of things that she's bringing to the table with both yoga and her different potions.
My different potions.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, the potions
Herbalist.
and the
River.
algae. River. I think my part in all of this too is like, yes, with like, is yoga and health just via different like herbal medicines or algae kind of, you know, my focus is more so on like what's going into the body. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very, more so, yeah, like the little like potion maker.
So like the nutrition aspect of it and movement's going to be really important. And we talked about like where depression like stays in the body. And
Stays in the body, yeah. I hope to soon. There's a yoga certification I want to get to do trauma yoga, so you can help people release trauma stored in their bodies through different poses and sequences. And I think to me that's really huge. So I would like to think of myself as like a movement mentor.
Ooh.
Yeah, just kind of that, like with body movement of the body inside and out, like get everything flowing on the inside too, with like digestive health, blood circulation, and then moving your body.
I love that.
Yeah,
Oxygen.
oxygen.
We need oxygen to survive. So I feel like, you know, with breathing techniques and things like that, like we were just speaking about earlier, you know, if you can breathe and take deep breaths, you feel yourself with clarity. You fill yourself up with clarity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the oxygen itself. So if you're feeding yourself, you know, rich foods and oxygen, then it naturally affects your dopamine levels. You know what I mean? So why not? I love that. Yeah. I mean, you can feel it. Have you guys tried, you know, drinking like a soda and then getting some alkaline or sea moss in you, and you can feel the difference in your being. I mean, a lot of people are not aware of that. What you eat, you are what you eat. You are what you eat.
It's literally, your diet, dude. So you are what you eat.
You are what you eat.
True.
So, you know, I've been an athlete my whole life, and so diet's been really important for me. But didn't realize how important. You know, if I was putting more of the correct foods and not eating McDonald's and KFC, you know, before some of my matches, maybe I could have performed at more optimal levels. And so, you know, I'm really intrigued at the idea of how food and, you know, the mind, body, soul connection when it comes to food, you know, like food and water and exercise is all so crucial to, you know, making sure that your mind is working sharp, you know what I mean, sharply. So if you're not sharp, if you're dull because you are dull food, you know what I mean, your food doesn't have good vibration to it. Right. So they speak a lot about vibrations too with food. Food and vibration go hand in hand.
Absolutely. Yeah, kind of like we were talking about with putting the love into that food.
And the food, exactly.
I love that.
Oh my gosh, raising the
raising the vibration of food.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I should hook you guys up with my friend Harmony, who does incredible vegan meals. Oh my God, out of this world. It comes directly from her heart.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I've gotten to partner with her in catering, and she actually did one for her, and I cooked a meal, actually a Southern home cooked meal, vegan, okay? For my mom for her birthday.
Yum.
My mom thought it was real meat, and it was 100% vegan.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I actually had ordered a burger earlier, and then I was starting to eat it and realized it wasn't real meat. Because I was trying to order her a Beyond Burger, and then tricked myself into
That's hilarious.
and right before we came back here, she was actually just kind of working with somebody with their breathing who was freaking out or upset.
Yeah. I was trying to get her, and I was like, you just need to take some deep breaths and like just go do some breathing exercises. And it's the biggest thing is just breathing.
For real.
Like literally the biggest thing.
And maybe that's why you say deep breaths. So while you're sleeping, we're taking deeper breaths, right? That makes sense.
Or deep
Like
rest.
Yeah, deep
deep
breaths.
breaths.
But
Well,
but still
deep
deep
breaths gives you
breaths.
deep breaths.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
See, this is where three minds come together.
Yes.
In pranic healing, like when you want to like heighten or create more energy, you imagine that the breath or the air that you're breathing in is like gold light. So you're breathing in gold light, letting go of negative intentions or negative thoughts, and breathing in gold light. You could also do that with electric violet, depending on your intention. But yeah, energy is gold light.
So we're going to bring all of these amazing tools into our depression centers.
Yeah.
I think we can really change lives, not through medicine, but through the mind and through the body, the soul.
Yeah, what I was saying during my podcast thing was like the magnets have a higher percentage than the medication. It's 90%, 80 to 90% accuracy, depending on what type of magnet strategy. And depression medications anywhere from 50, 65 to most is like 70, like for long-term curing your own depression type thing.
Wow.
So
Allopathic medicine is just so old school, dude. Like old school in the way of like we should just be done with that. Like, I guess I should correct myself, and the real old school is like, holistic therapy, magnetic therapy, all that stuff, just like everything we've been talking about. I guess that's a better way to put it, is that it's old school, but allopathic medicine is just kind of like
The wave. That's the new wave. You're saying that is the new wave?
no, that's
Allopathic
like
is the
that
old
needs to
way?
be the out. That needs to be the out, like allopathic medicine, like
allopathic, not
saying more like, prescription medication, stuff like that, like antidepressants. It's just
Get
like
rid of it.
it's all bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, down the road, it really creates organ failure.
yeah.
Organ failure is like different.
We went straight there. Down the road, it's just your organs are going to go.
Your organs are gonna go. You're basically slowly killing yourself. It's a temporary fix.
Yeah, I mean, you brought new knowledge to the table with your experience with plants that I didn't even know today. Like, you're not supposed to ingest essential oils.
You should not, and nobody should be ingesting essential oils, and that's where it really frustrates me that doTERRA or whatever the company's called. And it's like, we make food grade essential oils. Like, nobody should ever be ingesting essential oils. Like,
That's actually one of the mitzvahs, the 613 mitzvot, or like I think one of them is one of the commandments is not to like eat frankincense and stuff like that. I remember I was reading the 613 commandments and I was like, why is eating frankincense on here? Like
amazing, because they knew.
For sacred ritual.
knew.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know which commandment is?
No, I mean, I just kind of was getting into this channel. I've been getting this channel of like, kind of like a Kohen, which is interesting.
Oh, okay.
Like sacred rituals and how they're being performed. This is like totally wild, but I keep getting like visuals and how things are constructed. And like, whoa. So I just saw like kind of like an image in my head of like the sacredness of not ingesting that and why.
Oh, interesting. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Because I just like was reading all the things. I was like, don't talk to the spirits, or no, wait, don't get guidance from spirits. And I was like, okay, it didn't say not to talk. It just said not to get guidance.
Well, I mean, if you kind of look at it, like source, is the source of all creation, right? And if you're like asking a a tiny piece of source, and you could just go straight to the source.
That's true.
Like,
That's true. You're right. That is a form of ideology, or like ideology. Yeah. Idolizing guidance. Like I'm putting guidance on a pedestal when I should just be connecting to source. That's great. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, I like
Well,
that.
maybe the guidance is source.
Yes, I, like
I
that as
believe
well.
that intuition is source, part source, because we
Absolutely.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah.
okay, so it's not outside of us, like source is within us, right? And so I don't look at it like it's this entity or just separate from me. Like the intuition that I have is it seems like it's directly coming from source, and it's me. Like, so that's where it's me in the whole. It's everything. I feel like that's giving me this intuition, because once you're connected to source, you're all knowing. You have the ability to know your path. You don't need to. So I feel like you are connecting to the guides. You are connecting to spirits, and you can call it God. You can label it, but at the end of the day, we get guidance from all. I feel like from everything. I feel like, people, they speak about how if someone has passed away recently in your life, sometimes you can feel that energy, helping you and guiding you.
Yeah, you totally can.
So what does that explain? Is it my deceased mother that's helping me, or my deceased sister that's passed away? Or is it God? Or is it me? Or is it, you get what I'm saying? Where's my intuition coming from? Was my sister telling me to go down this path?
I agree with you, and I agree with you from the perspective that you took.
Okay.
Because I feel like with that, like it's all in how we look at things.
Okay.
But if we're taking that and we're looking at it from an outside, I feel like we're not having the strongest connection with the outside.
Oh. I was questioning that. I was like, well, then why is it such a sin to like worship the calf if the calf is also God? Because she made a great point. The calf is also God. But then you're like, but you're seeing it outside of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's really about that internal speak. I love this.
But the internal seek, it's still everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we're all connected. I'm hearing my internal self from this entity that's no longer here in the physical plane. We receive impulses from entities outside of ourselves. It's not, but it is still self.
Right.
That's how you know we're all one.
Right. And
isn't that deep? Like, 'cause who's
is.
Jesus? I mean, I had a life or death experience, and and I'm not religious at all, and I wasn't raised in religion.
Yeah.
And I was 360s across the highway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the only person that I could think of was Jesus. Now, I don't pray to Jesus before, but while I was about to die, I'm like, please, Jesus, help me, and please be here with me. Why did I pray to that entity? Why didn't I say God? Why does Jesus resonate with me? But he helped us. I felt like in everything, Jesus was there in that moment. If it wasn't that, it was some other amazing force. But I believe that there's all sorts of energies and things helping us and guiding us
Absolutely,
at all times.
yeah.
It's not just us.
I like that because I think that's where discernment comes in.
Yes, discernment.
Because it's like for instance, if you're just talking, to someone on the street and they give you some advice, for instance.
Perfect.
And you're going to feel the energy that's coming through because you're going to, one, have that internal check of like, okay, they told me to, apply here.
Right.
Let's just say that. Say you have some dissonance with what they're saying. You're having that internal speak, and then you kind of go and you ask more questions. Why am I having issues with what they say? Maybe it's not even a bad statement. Maybe it's just like you don't resonate, but why? And then you can be like, is it because of fear? Or is it because, it just truly does not feel good?
Right.
And I feel like that's when we keep asking questions, when we keep bringing it back to center, that in the vibration, like we spoke in the last podcast episode, that's where we're really fine tuning our connection with source,
Yes.
and like there's so many different ways. There's no wrong way to do it.
way.
It's when we don't empower ourselves and when we
Exactly.
don't honor ourselves to the fullest. I think that's where we've missed the mark.
Exactly.
You know,
When we lose our worthiness, when we feel like we're less than, or when we feel like we're separated or less than source,
yeah.
that's where we lose it.
And then
Yeah.
and then again, that right there just gives us okay, well, then we just need to bring it back in. It's still a learning process, you know?
There's two schools of thoughts that I want to bring up. One is Access Bars, which teaches that you should kind of be like a baby to the universe. Like you should be like kind of like in this constant state of love and happiness at all times. And if you're not, you should ask that thought, who does it belong to? With both pranic healing believes like these entities get caught in your chakra. These like, and they call it entities, but they also acknowledge that in like the Bible they would call them demons and angels versus entities and elements and right, like energy. So it all has different language, but both would say that reacting to it, like having any type of reaction, is like catching that reality into your vibration, catching that reality into your chakra. So it's like, why do you need it? Why are you keeping it? Who does it belong to? So those are all the questions that will help you kind of release that, because otherwise, if you don't clean your chakra, those thought patterns just stay there and they create illnesses. They don't allow energy to really flow through you, and they create blockages in your body.
Yes.
I feel like you're really on to something, especially as you guys are cultivating,
Therapy.
Exactly.
Therapy doesn't work for so many of the reasons that she just mentioned, because what is the therapist what kind of probing questions is the therapist asking? And it's really just perpetuating the problem. A lot of therapists don't get to the solution or the core. They're perpetuating the vibration of what has happened. Tell me the story. Remember, we talked about red stories and green stories. So the red stories are these negative stories. So you're just telling the story that feels bad. So ultimately, you're reliving the same vibration. So how are you gonna heal if my therapist keeps wanting me to tell the story that makes me feel bad?
Well, it's also like reworking the story and like
To
a lot
change
of
the
things.
perspective on it.
A lot of things about therapy is just kind of making your own monologue, writing your own monologue, and then where you're like the hero, and then just keep saying that monologue. I will say, like, was it cognitive behavior therapy and dialect behavior therapy, now that I've been going into the depression center, and I'm like looking at it from an analytical point of view of like, what is the statistical success rate of all this? And it does have its own success value, and people do need to work on their stories within themselves and feel those words and practice feeling the emotions of those stories. One of the things that we do in NLP, or because I'm also a practitioner of that, is to imagine that you have an emotion like joy, and that you're carrying around joy with you everywhere, and that you can just step into it or remove it. And it's like these emotional patterns that you're kind of practicing jumping into and getting out of your own emotional spectrum that you keep looping yourself into. But everything does have its own success rate. But the most success is still magnets.
Really? But is it an individual thing? You might feel like it's potentially like a magnet for me won't work, but it would work for him, or you don't feel like
according to like the Stanford study, and like just according to all the studies I've seen, it's an 80-90% success rate. Like that's why they do it after people have been described antidepressants and it hasn't worked. After people have gone to therapy and it hasn't worked, then they'll allow people to do the magnets because it has such a high success rate.
So cool. Yeah, I've used it for, like I said, I'm a tennis player, so we use magnets a lot of the times for healing. So it's deep. You just don't realize how it can help in so many other areas for someone's life, like depression. It helps heal my injury, but it could help heal your brain. But that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah. I love like when you think about the or the depression center, deep rest, right?
Deep resting center.
But I would say at the core, when you say yes, there's the whole mind, body, spirit, all of it, right? But like at the core, it's working a lot with the solar plexus, because we store our thoughts, feelings, and emotions in this area. And I'm really curious to see if you're going to have a program, especially for like working out like at the physical level, the core, because there's so many different ways to approach things, and it looks like you guys have a great balance, from the spiritual side of things, from the the health perspective. But you being a tennis coach, I wonder, are you bringing anything like that in there?
Yeah, there's been a lot of research, scientific studies that pretty much say that the gut and the mind-body correlation is directly connected. So if you can get your microbiome, I think they call it microbiome.
Yep.
So that if you can, correct the microbiome, is that
you're saying it right.
You might want to talk about this.
No, you got this.
I'm not really
You're saying 100% right.
Terms. I don't know scientific terms. I can't give you the Harvard, terms, but I can break it down into like baby terms. But you got to get your gut right so that you can focus at the end of the day. So if your gut is all messed up, then it's directly affecting your brain health. And so definitely working with my children with diet. Like I speak to them all the time about getting more greens into their diet and get rid of the fast foods. And so it's definitely, I've implemented it into my programs a lot, dietitians and things like that, so that they can perform at optimal levels. Yeah, for sure.
We also are talking to this individual, is a naturopath. He's actually a nutrition coach who's helped basically cure 10,000 different people of different ailments. And he's given us some of his like detoxing models, and he's got a lot of products to help with the gut and things of that nature. So that's one of the things that we've been looking at when it comes to the solar plexus. And you talk about like us putting the energy within the solar plexus. That's a lot of emotional too. Taking pranic psychotherapy, they talk about how like you're just holding in your energy and your mind, and your emotions are really all stored there. So if you don't clean that out, you're really just like on an energetic level also creating issues there. But so physical gut, emotional gut.
But is there going to be any exercise or anything?
Well, so she's working on the yoga and getting like trauma of the body, and that's one of the reasons we're also at the movement sanctuary. Is like kind of seeing how movement is going to take a part of deep resting. So
at the core of it, it seems like it's still oxygen. Because think about it, when you're moving a lot and you're doing yoga and you're getting blood flow going, it's really you're getting more oxygen into your body, into your system. So that's why I feel like deep breathing is so amazing for healing. But everything at the core is just getting more oxygen, it seems like, into our systems in order to feel better, right?
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Movement does.
So movement helps.
Breathing
helps.
Yeah, they haven't
Food
done that
helps.
many like concrete studies on like the percentages or exactly how much movement helps, but it does seem like movement and exercise have a huge part of it. But it's also like, what can we really do from the model that we're creating? So we're kind of testing and figuring out that.
Body in motion stays in motion for sure.
Yes, the body in motion stays. And I've heard that a lot through my career.
Yeah.
I love how this podcast will be coming out during Libra season, because it's showing this balance that you're providing for the community.
Oh, yes.
Like the balance between the heart and the mind.
It's funny because I know that Libra is the balance, but I feel like Libra is also the opposite, because like Libras don't have balance within themselves.
No, at all. I just told my data.
It's only balance outside.
Yeah,
so if
they
it's
wanna
only
balance
balance outside, is it real balance?
I think it depends on, because we have Libra within us, all of us.
My moon sign's Libra.
She's mastered Libra.
So you're super Libra.
What?
So you're super Libra.
Super Libra. And then just draped the rest in Virgo. It's Virgo and Libra.
Drape the rest. I love that.
Literally.
But you have a point, because like duality exists.
Yeah.
So you have to see the absence of it as well as the fullness of it and the in between, right?
But duality only exists with perspective, because
Totally.
yeah,
100%.
So it's Yeah, I don't know. I get back to that whole, there's only source. There is no duality. Duality is just perspective outside of source.
After I walked out from the podcast, me and you did the one-on-one, and I was walking downtown to go get some juice. I saw this on the ground.
Oh, wow. Perfect.
Whoa. You want to explain the
So
image?
that's the yin and the yang symbol
That's all I've been saying all day.
with
Horns.
with devil horns and a tail, but then an angel halo.
That's so interesting because I saw that as a
Yeah.
root.
It does look like a root though, so who knows?
Is
Me,
it
I
a
thought
tail?
maybe a tail.
I got a tail from that with the devil horns, but it could be a root and
Yeah,
a tail.
either way.
Because I was like, what is the intention of
Rooted
that
in
thing?
duality.
Rooted at the tail, it's rooted.
It's rooted. It's rooted. But I thought that was pretty on
Wow.
point.
That's
So cool.
incredible.
Yeah, you got to know what you do want to know what you don't want.
Yeah.
You got to know what you don't want to know what you do want. It's
Yes.
inevitable.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man. But it's really beautiful that you're cultivating this now because of, especially after the year we just had, you know, not everybody had the same experience. Some of us had the best years of, the best year of our life,
Hell yeah,
going,
I definitely did.
honestly,
I definitely did.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I had one, like, I really started to get my shift together.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love these alternative words. Hey, Bish, like, let's get our shift together. Like,
I love it. Oh my God. I
But,
love this.
There's a lot of people that are still, within that old paradigm
Yeah.
that felt a lot of loss and like as if something was taken from them. And rather than, what you guys are creating of like, this is all within you. Nothing has to feel like it's outside of yourself. And I feel like this is really going to help, our bridge the gaps and really see a whole nother side to things, bringing beings in that are of that old paradigm and shifting them out of it.
Yes, because then we can all rise together.
Exactly. Wow. Do you guys want to speak on anything else in regards to the healing center?
There will be chocolate involved.
There always needs to be chocolate.
Always needs to be chocolate involved.
What kind?
Sea moss chocolate.
Ooh, that exists?
It is about to soon.
Oh, I love that.
you.
Ooh, new inventions.
CMOS. I've been on the CMOS kick for 2 years now. Guys, CMOS is life changing. If you're not already taking CMOS, please, Dr. Sebi, he has really changed a lot of people's lives. And if you don't know anything about Dr. Sebi, I would say look into it and some of his studies because CMOS has changed my life. I've gotten so much energy from it and clarity. So
Yeah.
I have never even heard of this until our podcast together, River.
To have a closing note on the depression centers,
Yes.
if you are feeling that type of depression, there are so many things out there for you, and movement and better diet does help, and getting out of the story and the energy that you keep putting yourself in does help. So. And also you can get magnets as well and see ways to put that on you without having to go through these like expensive options, and creating a community for yourself. Like, I know that when you're in that situation, it's hard to push yourself or motivate yourself to, or even sometimes to realize that you're even in depression. So if you're feeling that way, and even if you're not feeling depressed, to constantly move and elevate yourself up, it's only going to benefit you. So these tools and modalities are for everybody, because we don't realize how we're kind of limiting ourselves and our own potential by being in a state of deep rest.
Yes.
I love that.
And just don't
love it.
don't identify yourself with depression. Like, back to the word speech, like being like, I'm depressed. It's like, you're not depressed. You need deep rest, and you're navigating some feelings that you're trying to get through. Don't put that out to the universe that you are the embodiment of depression, because
Or an emotion.
or emotion. Like, you're gonna take that on.
Yeah, I love that. I was a psych major, and the number one thing was someone have rather than you are that.
Yes.
And I feel like, or I'm experiencing.
Yes.
I like that even better because, to be honest with you, with any type of emotion, I mean, we are beings that, a lot of us are empaths. I feel like everyone's an empath. It's just acknowledging.
And how
Everyone's psychic.
and like how clean your vessel is, because if you're clogged up, it's not gonna flow.
That's so
Right.
true.
Yeah, it's like your body is your most powerful
So
manifesting
they say
tool.
meditation helps you connect a little bit. You can hear the voice
Absolutely.
clear, like the distinction between source and your
Absolutely.
ego.
Yes,
Yeah.
Meditate.
Absolutely.
What other ways like
holding
meditation?
still.
There's just stillness.
Stillness, just stillness, breathing, meditation. CMOS. Also, I will say I'm huge on acupuncture if it's done by the right people. Acupuncture also just changed lives. But
Yeah, I'm really huge on all these like energetic modalities as well, like access bars I just did recently, and it just removed all of my thoughts, and it was just like I didn't even know what to. All I could say was God. Like I was just
Can
like,
you spell it? Can you spell it?
Access.
Access bars. Is
Yeah,
that
it's
what you're saying?
just the word access. ACCESS, and
Access
then
bars.
bars.
Got you.
It's like
Look it up.
do you eat them?
no.
Oh,
That's what I was like, what's access bar?
It's a form of energy healing.
hell yeah.
but
Maybe
I
I'm
do
just
think,
hungry.
I do think that that's a very general name. I was talking to the practitioner. I was like, it's like, is it prison bars? What kind of bars are we talking about here?
I got
like
confused as
granola
well.
bars. I was telling my boyfriend about it. He was like, okay, so you take granola and you sprinkle it on people.
know.
Like you have access.
It's not an actual bar.
It's not a bar.
Not an actual edible bar.
No, but it is a form of meditation healing. So it is like energy. It's like energy healing, but the other person is meditating energy healing. So it's energy healing through meditation.
Oh, like a 2-person thing?
Yeah.
So like a 28?
Almost like Reiki.
I don't know about.
What I was like saying in the car about like
Like-
the 28 thing was like 2 people and then the infinity of like going
yeah,
back and forth
actually.
and helping each other.
Yeah, that is. It's one person usually doing the meditation. Then you need to get into a stillness meditative state, and it's super. The practitioner I had was very effective with it. I also recommend pranic healing and different
Yes.
energies like that, and just kind of realizing that the emotions that people have around you and the energy are things that can stick to you
Oh my god.
and be
Don't be so
aware.
sticky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't-
I just remember. I hate to cut her off, but
Yeah.
with tennis, if you're an athlete, I would experience nerves, not realizing that the nerves were coming from my opponent. Like you don't like. I'm thinking I'm nervous. I'm like I should win this match. I should. You know what I mean? I know I'm the better competitor, but I was actually feeling her nerves from across. You know what I mean? Didn't realize that we can feel other people's energies. I mean, I didn't realize how much of an empath I was at that time. But yeah, that stuff is real.
And it can stay with you. It can carry outside the court. It can
Go- yeah, like
your
her-
story can live in you without
What?
ever speaking with them.
And I think that's why boundaries is so important.
True.
Yeah. Let's talk
when-
about personal space.
Actually, one thing from this entire pandemic that I actually love is the 6 foot.
Yeah.
Like get away from me.
Doesn't your aura goes out 7 feet
Yeah.
though?
Exactly.
Yeah. Or is it 6 feet? I
It
don't
is
know.
6 feet.
Oh wow.
And it's so wild because it's like
So interesting.
we're literally saying, "Hey, can you please just get
Respect
out of
my
my
aura
auric
space."
field?" And we're talking about auric field at its its most closed down
That's
point.
amazing.
That's deep.
So like, yeah, we can expand out into God, who knows what. But
Yeah.
at our like closed most, portion, like it is that 6 feet. So
Amazing.
and when we can cultivate those boundaries and realize, like our energetic shields, what that is, that's something to really, really get into. And being a Scorpio and a Cancer moon, that is something that has been my life story. So like, it's like I've really found the tools, and it's never a fool proof thing. It's always realizing you need to still work on it. You know, it's a journey. There's moments where, you know, they're better than others. And also having compassion for yourself within the process. Like, that's huge, and especially if you're doing any type of healing or facilitating of healing, is realizing, you know, compassion. Because literally what my mentor taught me is compassion is literally love meets wisdom.
Yes.
And that blew my being, right? Like, so any of you guys out there who are, you know, on this healing journey, you know, just remember that love within inside yourself, you know, and matching it with the wisdom and taking that fully in, you know. It helps, you know, for that step-by-step process we were talking about in our interview, Dara, you know. And when we don't make things so big, and we're going to kind of like step by step, it makes things.
Step one. You're into law of attraction. You're into Abraham Hicks.
Yes.
Oh, I love
So
Abraham Hicks.
she calls it the step one moment. You know, there's, you know, to creation, there's you're always going to go back to your step one, you know, moment.
Yeah.
And how she speaks about that. So you're there's step one where you're in that creation process. You're thinking things up. Step two, what is it? You're in manifesting mode, right? You remember that?
I
step
remember.
One, step two, step three, but you always
Yeah.
gotta go back to step one, where you have to start over again and reset and re-identify where you're headed, what your goals are. You know, so I think that's lovely to be able to go back to step one. What you've done with this manifestation. What's next?
Right.
You're always desiring something new, and in that desire, that's where the kind of the discord comes in. It hasn't hatched yet, so you're like, you want it, and that's the step one moment for me. Like, I want this to manifest. I'm in step one, but I have to be patient to allow it to come to fruition. So we're always going through step one, and I think that's important to realize that you'll get where you are, but then you're gonna go right back because now you want something else.
We all have a little bit of Phoenix in us, I think.
Yeah, so we're never happy. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
No,
The key is to always find the joy in everything that you experience, even the adversity.
Well,
Find it.
yeah, just
Yeah.
growth. Happiness is growth. Is feeling like you're growing with something. What he was mentioning was also part of manifestation. It's like taking your full project and breaking it down into like, what are you doing in a year? What are you doing in a month? What do you like, and what does that look like the whole journey, and manifesting each level of that. So breaking down the step ones and manifestation until like
I don't feel like it
small
works
bites.
that way. That's just my opinion. I just feel like once you put it out there, once you say I want this, once you say you have a desire, that's where you have to allow. The step two is letting the universe, letting God or source, if you will, put all the pieces together for you. Bring us together somehow. You get what I'm saying? So you've done this. I did this 2 years ago. I said I want to do a podcast, 2 years ago. And I'm like, podcast, I haven't done any steps to get here. I just met Dara. I didn't have to do anything after that. I've just set the intention, and then somehow the universe provided the tools and the vessels to help me get to my. But I don't think planning ever helps. It's never worked for me in my life. The plan always goes astray because source says, no, you got to go here. And I'm like, no, I got to go here. And he's like, no, you got to go here. So I'm like, so I stopped. I gave up the struggle and the control. Mm-hmm. I've literally learned how to allow. And that's step two, where you can learn how to allow. And then step three is you see the manifestation. So it's step one, set the intention, set the goal. It's already here. You already did it. And then step two is allow it to come to fruition.
I don't think that they're separate from each other. They're just different ways of going about it.
Yeah. I think when you plan, sometimes you put steps on there that are not really supposed to go in the path. Like, you can plan something and then the plan goes astray. So what happens now?
Yeah, I mean, so it's, I guess, less about planning and more about setting an emotional intention
Exactly.
for each step of your way.
Exactly.
So,
And not having expectations.
yeah.
Exactly.
So it's, Yeah, that instead of looking at it like it's a plan, look at it like it's a roadmap of intention.
Right. I love that.
I
love
love
that.
roadmaps.
A roadmap of intention. Though. Like she didn't say, "I'm gonna go this. I'm gonna do this," because things happen.
Yeah.
My friend planned her whole. I hate to say it. Her husband passed away. She had this whole plan for them in their lives, but he slipped off a rock and passed away, and so her whole plan went. Down the drain. Now, so you reset. So you're constantly resetting, going back to those step one moments. And then step 2, allowing the universe, allowing God to, reveal. It will reveal itself if you can learn to allow and accept that you're not in control of all of this going on.
That's been my journey right there. Is most of my life has definitely not been orthodox. It's been like a leap of faith on everything, but there's moments in time where I need to just like center my energy, like literally center my energy and see the vision, feeling it, embodying it. But I think that's why you guys are gonna work so well together, because you have like this structure. And then you have and you all have different pieces of this, right? But it's how you put them together. And like with your manifesting, it's really through feeling,
It's feeling,
yeah. And it's like you guys bring such a beautiful like blend of energies together to manifest. It's like God. Unbelievable.
It is God.
It's literally God.
It's God, and God is unbelievable.
Don't blow our heads up. Our heads are already big enough.
It is all God. I mean, and that's the way to not blow your head up. Is just kind of like it's not us at all. It's just God.
Yeah.
I mean, if our intention is aligned with God too, and I think, and my feeling is that God just wants us to heal so we can feel God more deeply. So, and that's our all of our stories that we have in life. I mean, that's really, that's what it's about, is just to keep healing until you can feel that energy more intensely and it becomes cleaner and you can see it and feel it and understand it more and understand yourself as a channel more.
Yeah.
So it's not us at all. It's just God.
Well said.
Oh, wow.
So.
Well, I thank you guys for taking the action steps, here on this earth to bring others together for this healing journey. That's big. It all takes some form of, honoring this is where I'm at. I want to take this action and let's do it. And you guys are doing it with divine guidance. It's beautiful. Thank you for coming on Energy Speaks podcast. This is literally the first time I've had multiple people come on. I love this. This is amazing.
Cool. Yeah, I love it.
And for anyone, listening, this is listenable. I think I just made a word up. I don't know. On Apple Podcasts, please, write a review. That really helps, bring this to everyone. It's also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and we're getting them up on YouTube as well. I thank you all, divine, beautiful souls, for listening. This could not be possible without you guys. And Hashem, really, thank you, Hashem. Oh, man.
Namaste.
Namaste, too. This is all of us
namaste.
here.
Simas.
We got River,
Oh, I have to say
Monique,
ever.
Dara, and myself, Catriel, as your host. Thank you. Over and out.